Is the Xbox Series X doomed to fail? Well, some headlines would have you believe so, but recently Microsoft has released some new information on why they're going in the direction and making the choices that they are. So let's go ahead and take a look. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me here today for another video games industry news report. Microsoft took the stage at the Video Game Awards in late 2019 with Phil Spencer announcing the next generation Xbox console, which at the time was known as Xbox Scarlett and has now been titled the Xbox Series X. Now, very little is known about this console, but from what Microsoft has said in the past when it was just known as the Xbox Scarlett, is that it's going to be priced as a premium console. Now, my expectation is that the console is going to be $499.99 USD. That is the same price that the Xbox Series X launched at. And if they want to be able to sell them, I really don't think that they're going to want to have a console that costs more than $500, considering that Xbox One was $500 when it released. And, well, we all know how that console sold compared to the PS4. Now, it was also announced, along with Project Scarlett at the time, that there was going to be a cheaper, more affordable model of the next generation Xbox, which at this point could be titled Xbox Series anything, letter, number, what have you. We still don't know much about that. But currently, the news for Xbox owners may be better if you're not looking to upgrade to the next console, because for the next year and a half to 2 years, every console exclusive that is released on the Series X will also be launching on Xbox One as well. And this is the Xbox One, the One S, and the OG fat Xbox One. Now, while this is good for people that aren't looking to upgrade right away, I know personally a couple of people that have just recently purchased an Xbox One X at the end of its life just because it is cheaper and they're looking to get back into gaming. So it's going to be good for them. But what does that do to the sales for the actual console itself? Now, we know that Halo Infinite is going to be a launch title for the Series X, and it's also coming out on the Xbox One family of consoles. And personally, I almost think that them putting this on the Xbox Series X was a last-minute decision. Almost the same type of situation with the Nintendo Switch and the Wii U and the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. They decided in the last year before the console's release to port that over to the Switch, and it ended up being the better version. But they actually cut features out of the Wii U version that they had shown earlier due to the simple fact that they could have parity between the two versions of the game. And I'm wondering if they're going to be doing something similar with Halo Infinite. The fact that it's got to run on the original Xbox has to in some way handicap features and things that they wanted to do with Halo Infinite once they put it on the Series X. Now, the following information comes from Windows Central. If you guys are interested, I highly recommend you go ahead and check out the full article, as I am only pulling out what I feel are the most important parts. The information reads as follows. With an interview with Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, he stated, as our content comes out over the next 2 years, all of our games, sort of like the PC, will play up and down the Xbox family of devices, Booty explains. We want to make sure that if somebody invests in an Xbox between now and Series X, that they feel that they made a good investment and we're committed to them with content. Now, from the way I read this statement, when it comes to him saying that the next 2 years of Xbox exclusives will be compatible with the Xbox One family, I am counting that starting with the launch of the Xbox Series X at the end of 2020. So if they go from the end of 2020 to the end of 2021, and then from the end of 2021 to the end of 2022, that's going to push it close to the 10-year mark that they have for the original release of the original Xbox One, which was in 2013. And this will pretty much mirror their support of the Xbox 360 that they supported pretty much up until 2015, and then the 360 launched back in 2005. So it seems that they're going 10 years to 10 years with support for each system. And speaking of the Xbox 360, I kind of see them cutting off support completely for the Xbox 360 with the launch of the Xbox Series X. And while they're not supporting the Xbox 360 in the typical way, the Xbox 360 receives support through Games with Gold. They still give out one free Xbox 360 game per 2-week period when it comes to Games with Gold. And I don't really see them do that much further past the release of the Series X. If they do, I will be shocked and surprised. But I pretty much see them cutting that off with the launch of the new system. Now, of course, with the information out there that the Xbox One family is going to be receiving the Xbox Series X games for at least up to 2 years after its launch, there are articles coming out now for PlayStation that say that the PS5 will launch with exclusive games for the PlayStation console, according to their insider reports. This isn't something that surprises me, something I actually expected. I hope the console is backwards compatible. That's a big deal to me, but that's also a different topic. But the reason why I feel why Xbox is doing this is because they purchased 15 game studios to help make games for them. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the Xbox One really didn't have any exclusives to begin with. It had a few handful, not all of them were that great. And, believe it or not, that actually is a big driving force in selling consoles. Look at the Nintendo Switch, all the Mario, all the Zelda, Pokemon games. Those games sell those consoles. That's why I myself purchased a Nintendo Switch was for those games. The following information comes from DualShockers. I will put the link in the description, as I feel I'm only pulling what the most important parts are out of the article. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at it. It says, in a sigh of relief to many PlayStation fans out there, it seems that the PS5 will indeed have exclusives at console launch. Following earlier news from Microsoft that the next-gen Xbox would be available on all Xbox consoles with the exclusives, the Xbox One and the Series X, Kotaku journalist Jason Schreier has previously mentioned insider reports of the PS5 launch titles will be exclusive to the next-gen system. The exact quote may come by in order of Kotaku Split Screen December 4th in discussion with some information that they heard about the next-generation consoles from insider sources. When discussing the source of the launch lineup for PS5, Schreier mentions that he has heard of multiple games that will be launching only on PS5. This is fairly significant given the recent news about the Xbox Series X and broader Microsoft strategy. In an earlier interview with the head of Microsoft Game Studios, Matt Booty, he noted that Microsoft will aim to have all games immediately following the launch of the Xbox Series X will be available on anything within the Xbox device family, meaning the PC, Xbox One, and Series X in essence. And this is a continuation of the Xbox Play Anywhere strategy, hoping to speak to a broader market share, not to pigeonhole software into a small sect that an audience will pick up with the latest hardware. This statement from Booty is consistent with Schreier's predictions that within the same podcast, following the statement on PS5 exclusive, Schreier mentions that he hasn't heard much about what Xbox will be launching with, but he imagines their strategy will be to have it play on as many devices as possible. The conversation on exclusive continues to be an interesting development when comparing the next two next-gen consoles. Both Sony and Microsoft hedge their bets on exclusives and how much they shake up the market. We can see that the difference in strategy elsewhere is planning for the consoles as PS5 has relied on more traditional launch strategies, like keeping a smaller logo to promote brand consistency. Meanwhile, the Xbox Series X and Microsoft as a whole is hoping to undermine PlayStation's dominance through large-scale acquisitions and more revolutionary services like Game Pass. So we won't really know how everything turns out until everything turns out. Microsoft's strategy seems to be different than the traditional model that they've been going for, with PlayStation leading the charge, of course, with its console exclusives. Microsoft seems to be taking a different approach, and whether or not that's actually going to work out for them, we will have to wait and find out. But until then, guys, don't forget, in order to be part of the conversation and have your voice heard, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment in the section down below. If you guys found any entertainment or informative value to this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, as it does help out the video. Feel free to go ahead and check out the links in the description. I have my social networking and my Discord, and all are free to join and follow. But until next time, everyone, thank you all for joining me here today, and I'll see all of you in the next video.